Jay Stan here, and it is July 12th, 2012. You know, there's a lot of talk about, 2012 is the end of the year. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. You got the Mayan calendar, and, it says December 21st, 2012, and you got all these predictions and solar flares and pole shifts are supposed to happen and earthquakes and wars, World War III, and economic collapse and dollar devaluation and currency devaluation around the world. You see countries, Spain and all these countries in the EU, Greece, and all these countries failing and needing bailouts, and America needing bailouts. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, basically, is what I'm saying. So I wouldn't be surprised if the world was to end in 2012. I'm not saying it would, but the way things are going, it sure does look like it. But anyway, the whole point is, let's just say it is going to end in 2012. We all have maybe a couple months or whatever. What do you do? Let's say the world is coming close to it. What do you want to do before you die? What, and this is something I've been pondering, just in case, worst case scenario, this is true. Plan for the worst, hope for the best. Let's just say this is true. Let's just say 2012 is the end. And I've thought about this a lot. What do I want to do before I die? Do I want to travel somewhere? Do I want to go anywhere? Do I want to see something? Is there, there's basically not too much in the world that I'm too big on doing. Like, I'm having a hard time writing my bucket list. Most people want to skydive or something. I don't really care for that. A lot of things cost, just about everything is going to cost money, of course. So that plays into a fact. But, this is just a chance to just give people time, just think about, just ponder. If you only had a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year to live, what do you want to do before you die? What do you want to create? Do you want to create anything? There's so much you can do. You want to travel somewhere? Do you want to make an album? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to, whatever the case may be, what is it that you've always dreamt of doing and that you want to accomplish before you die, before the end of the world, or before whatever? Nobody's guaranteed tomorrow. It's going to be the end of the world for a lot of people tomorrow, just because of death, just because of car wrecks, just because of shootings, just because of whatever the case may be. So it's going to be the end of the world for some people tomorrow. But, enjoy your time, and I know one thing, get right with God. That's one of the most important things to prepare for the end of the world. Make sure you're right with the Lord. You've repented of your sin. You've asked for forgiveness, because you definitely don't want to perish. Definitely don't want to do that. But, how do you want to spend these last days on earth? If, in fact, this is the last days of earth. Or, just everything could change as we know it. We could go to war, and anything can happen. Anything is possible, sit around and say, oh, nothing's ever going to happen, we're always going to be safe. I mean, that's just living in some kind of fairy tale world, denial land. I don't know what that is, but it's always best to hope for the best. It's not to say we can't hope for everything to get better, everything to work out, but let's just be reasonable here. Let's just look at the facts and reality around us. I can't put my head in the sand. So this just has been something I've been thinking about, and I'd like to hear what other people's ideas are. Maybe not necessarily about the end of the world, but what would you like to do before you die? Like, is there something you want to accomplish? Is there something you've always dreamt of? And just to hear how other people are preparing for the end of the world, how other people are, what do you want to do? You want to enter a golf tournament? You want to play a live show somewhere? I mean, everybody has a different dream and a different goal, and everybody's is going to be different, and that's why I think it'd be just something interesting if you want to leave comments, and you can just talk about how you're preparing for 2012, so-called, quote-unquote, the end of the world. We'll see. We'll all see whether it happens or not. Nobody knows. Don't sit here and say, oh, it didn't happen. Well, I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen for somebody. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, hey, you still get to do what you want to do. Even if the end of the world doesn't happen, what's wrong with doing what you want to do in this life? I mean, come on. But, it'd be interesting to hear what people have to say and how people plan on living out the rest of their days. So God bless, and have a little fun before you die. And, don't become evil. Don't go out and just start being really sadistic and evil because you think it's the end of the world. Because you will. I mean, now it's the time more than ever to try to get right with God, but that's a different topic. People have their right and freedom to do whatever they want to do, but don't get too crazy. So God bless.